Good evening, everybody. Hell's Unicorn here once again, and I am going to be opining on a campaign ad that I just recently saw. This is one being run by congressional candidate Dan Adler for California's 36th Congressional District. This district is a traditionally Democratic district, so I think he's pretty much a shoo-in regardless to what he says, even if he puts up really idiotic campaign ads like the one he just put up. But nonetheless, I think it's interesting to point out that in addition to being a pro-Democrat Party district, it's also an anti-liberty district. What do I mean by this? Let me explain. The former seat holder for this district is one Jane Harman. Now, for those of you that don't remember her, she was a very avid supporter of George W. Bush's warrantless wiretapping scheme as proposed in the Patriot Act. In fact, it was confirmed in 2006 that Dick Cheney, by his own testimony, stated that Harman was present at the secret meeting and approved of the program. This was brought to the attention of the voters of this district in 2006 during the Democratic primary by progressive Democrat candidate Marcy Winograd, who pointed this out to everybody. And despite having all of the facts on her side, Harman defeated her handedly 62.5% to 37.5%. No matter who gets elected in this district, it's a sure bet that they're going to be an economic totalitarian. But I had at least hoped that in these so-called left-wing districts that we could at least get a marginally sane anti-war, pro-Fourth Amendment candidate like Dennis Kucinich. But, it's not really meant to be. So the ad in question, just to get back to the primary subject, is essentially an ad that's pandering to Korean voters who supposedly make up about 15% of the voting bloc in California's 36th district. Let me ask all of you something just real basic here, something that just cuts to the chase. This congressional district is anti-Constitution, as proven by the way people vote. It is anti-freedom. It is anti-free market. Basically, if it's anything that has anything to do with the founding principles of this country, they don't like it. Is it really any surprise that most of the people living in this district don't like white people? Because given all of the other insane things that they support, it pretty much only follows by good necessary consequence that these people are also largely racist demagogues who think that they're entitled to be racist because they're the supposed oppressed minority. I have news for all of you in the 36th district, if any of you are watching and are offended by this. Within your little conclave there in California, you are not the minority. But by virtue of your majority vote and your ability to send a representative to Congress, you have become an oppressive majority. Now, one of the reasons why I actually support the legalization of marijuana is so that all of you idiotic, racist Democrat voters in the 36th district can get yourselves so stoned out of your minds that you're not even going to show up at the polls, thus freeing up the rest of this country to do what they please with their own time. And yes, this was me being offensive. It's something that I enjoy doing, particularly when I am referring to idiots, which is primarily what makes up the voting bloc of the 36th District of California. As far as I'm concerned, if tomorrow an earthquake separated that entire state, or yea, even the entire West Coast from this country, I wouldn't lose much sleep because, as evidence would prove forth, not only do the people over on the West Coast support big government, they also support tyrannical, oppressive, invasive government. As long as they can dismember their own babies in the wombs, and as long as gay people can tie the knot in the Anglican Church, they have no problem with people being subject to Fourth Amendment violations, which I think is utterly ridiculous. But do feel free to tell me what you think about all of this, because I'm always curious. With prudence to myself and benevolence to all of you, good evening.